Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. Today's project, we're going to be using our book page. Any size will work. Some paper out of our paper pad. Any size paper pad will work too. Mine happens to be 8.5 inches by 11 inches. And you could even bring in some of your music paper for this project. We're going to be making wallet style flip books. Won't you join me? Here is my paper out of my paper pad, and maybe, ooh, this lavender is really pretty. Let's grab the lavender. I'm going to trim the borders off of my book page. My book page is now approximately 8 inches by 4 3/4. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to trim off the border of this as well. Here are my two book pages. Here is the paper that we've chosen. And let's go ahead and let's glue this down. They will fit nicely right on the back of our paper. I'm going to be using my Yoo-Hoo glue stick, applying my glue to the back of my page. Put some glue on the sides of your paper if you're not going to be sewing your project with the machine, and place it right down on top of your paper pad paper. Now we look something like this after we trimmed our paper pad paper around our book page. Now, it's the same size as it was before, 4 3/4 by, well, it's a little smaller. This is 7 3/4, and this is almost 8 1/4. So it doesn't matter. It just kind of depends on what size you want to make your wallets. I'm going to wait to fold this because I do not like to fold paper when it's wet. So while it's drying, I'm going to take my Distressed Ink Vintage Photo, and I'm going to be inking up the book page side as well as my printed side. Before I turned on the camera to make this video, I took another page from the paper pad and I backed it with my music paper. So I'm going to trim this one down as well. I chose to cut the music paper in half. So these are 5 inches by 7 inches. So you get the idea. You don't have to have any special size. Just trim them to approximately something like this. Something you could pop into a belly band or a pocket for your junk journal, or maybe even an envelope for some happy mail. As you saw in the video, I went ahead and I sewed around the outside of one of these pieces here. So let's go ahead and let's start making some wallet style flip books. What I want to do is I want to take my little piece. Now, whether your rectangle is 7 by 5 or some other size, it's going to be just fine. Let's take one side, and I'm just looking to see, do I want this to be my flap or this to be my, I think I want my flap to be here. And I'm going to take one side and I'm going to fold it up so it's right at the 1 inch from the edge to where I'm going to place my edge of the paper. So it's going to be folded like this. So no matter what size you're working with, you're going to measure from this side 1 inch down, and that's where your paper that you're pulling up is going to be resting. Let's don't fold this one. So I got 2 out of my one sheet. My paper was 8.5 by 11 inches. So if you're using maybe a larger paper pad, you'll want 2 pieces because we're going to do something else with this piece right here. So my book page and my lavender piece, I'm going to bring this portion up to be about 1 inch from the edge of the page and give it a crease. Now, because I've already inked up my project, I'm going to ink this up as well right here on the fold. Now let's fold this down. So I'm just going to fold my 1 inch down like this. And then let's fold it down over here on our lavender one. If you're off just a little bit, you can trim it up if you wish. I'm going to do just that. Give it a little trim. Super cute. And how'd we do on this one? This one's better. It's time to make our pages for our little flip book. Right here too, just kind of guesstimate where I would like my edge of my flip book to come. Maybe something like this. So that's about 1/4 of an inch inward. I have my pencil here. I'm going to pull this down. And let's see here. How about if we mark it right there? We're going to give it a cut right here. Now I'm going to cut another piece. So I'm just going to mark it. And then I'm going to cut it at my mark. I've trimmed my page and it's going to fit nicely in my little wallet styled flip book. So I'm going to fold this in half, just like this. But I want my ends to be together, like that. Give it a crease. Now, am I going to fit within here? Not quite. So I'm going to go ahead and mark where I need to trim that. So I'm not trimming where I folded it. I'm going to trim this part right here. So it's opened up like that. And now this will fit right in my little piece of ephemera. I've got my Tim Holtz stapler and I'm going to staple the top part of this little booklet. Here we are. And now we're going to glue it right here in our book. So it's going to be like this. When we close it all up, I think I need to make sure I glue it down far enough so it's not going to bother when I close my whole book. Man, that's a lot of glue. All right, so that's going to fold nicely, just like that. Wonderful. Now what I want to do is I'm going to do the same thing for this page. I want to mark my book, and in fact, is this about half? Looks like it's about half. I'm going to fold it in half. And then I'm going to mark, this is going to fit perfectly. So I'm going to take a little extra. And let's see, will that fit nicely in my book? I think that will be just fine. Let's fold this up like this, give it a crease, and then measure how much are we going to need to trim off. I'm sure somebody else could come up with a better way to do this, but this just seemed the easiest for me. Give that a trim, especially if your books are all different sizes, and these two books are definitely different sizes. So now I'm going to use my Tim Holtz stapler, and I'm going to try not to put so much glue on it this time. Place it right up on that underneath that 1-inch flap like this, but make sure it still can fold. Everything can still fold within itself. That's super cute. All right, I love that. Now we have two. Now with our little pieces that we have left, and I said hang on to them, what I want to do is I'm going to measure how wide this page is. How wide can I make it? So I'm going to mark right here. Make what you say. We're going to make a little tag to go inside. So this one is marked right there, so I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller, and I'm looking to see, I think I'm going to even this up while I'm at it, and I'm going to make it maybe about right there. So there's one tag. You can make a couple tags if you want. I have a punch that actually makes really nice tops to a tag, and I'm going to Well, actually, I think I might want it this way. Pop it in there. Just need to trim that just a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to ink mine up. I'm going to take the corners off of the bottom of these tags. Now this is the one that I sewed around. So I'm going to sew around this tag. This one we did not sew around, so I'm not going to sew around that one, but I'm going to sew around just so it matches. Now we have matching tags for our wallet style flip book. I'm going to take my sponge and just ink it up a little bit. And I'm actually going to round my corners on the bottom as well. You can do a little decorating if you wish. You could put a beautiful digital. You could put a pocket on the back. Maybe you have some butterflies that you'd like to place on there. I was actually thinking of maybe adding the butterflies on the front of this one. And on the lavender one, I was actually thinking that maybe this really pretty digital of the lavender would be really nice on this, and maybe some butterflies on this one. So let's go ahead and let's get this glued on. So it actually fits fine. So either it can be like this, or I can pull it over and then just trim these a little bit. And I think that's what the look I like that better than this. So adding my art glitter glue, I'm gonna glue this down. And then just taking my scissors and I'm just gonna trim it right on off, just like that. All right, so we've got our fussy cut on the front. Let's cover up these staples with a little bit of lace. That finished that off really nicely. So maybe a little bit of lace on the front here too. So I'm kind of struggling with this one, guys. I don't really like the blue butterflies after I got to looking at it on here, but let's just see if we can maybe make them work. I've got my hot glue gun, my SureBonder high temp with that specialty tip, and let's just scritch on some Sari silk on this little piece of ephemera here. And let's see if we can't make those blue butterflies work for us. I'm just not sure. Maybe just one of them. Okay, that I'm not minding that at all. Let's get that glued down. We need a little bow or something right down here. Maybe this is what we need. We need some of this bling. Pop a couple on the butterfly's body. Oh, that helped. That helped a lot. All right, so I have a very thin satin ribbon, this blue color of the butterfly. It's very, I don't seem to have anything like that color. All right, let's put it right here. Let's pop this right there. It's not my favorite, guys, but I think we can make it work. I think once we get we need to put our lace on the inside of this one, and then pop our tag right in there like that. Okay, it's coming together now. Of this Sari silk. Oh, that's way too wide. All right, you guys, I think we made it work. It's pretty cute once it's all finished with the tag in there and a little bit of bling and that blue bow. Here's the purple one that we made, and then here's one that I made getting this project ready. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.